po, this is Olivia Ann P. Manansala, the Data Privacy Officer of Francisco G. Memorial High School. So for today po, I will discuss to you the Data Privacy Act of 2012. Alright po, so this discussion will revolve around answering these four essential questions. So first question is, what is Data Privacy Act of 2012? So our goal is to define this act. And then, why it is important to know, especially to us teachers, gayon din po sa school, gayon din po sa mga students and parents. And then later on, we will answer the questions, what are the do's and don'ts? So ano yung mga dapat at hindi dapat ginagawa ng mga estudyante, ng mga parents, ng mga teachers, gayon din ng school. And then, now that we know that there's an existing law like this, so ano yung mga future plans po natin? Okay po. So first is, define muna natin ano yung Data Privacy Act. So it is the Republic Act number 10173. So the goal of this act is to protect the personal information of an individual living in the Philippines. Whether gagamitin man ang personal information na yan sa government agencies or in private sectors. So ang ibig pong sabihin is, it protects our privacy. For example po, isn't it pag kailangan mo ng job, you have to give your personal information. Gayun din po, if you'd like to open a Google account, you have to feed your personal information. So this act protects those personal information na finid mo sa kanila. For example, if magbibigay or gagawa ka ng account ng PhilHealth, kailangan nila yung personal information mo yon. Pero yung personal information mong yun, hindi nila pwedeng ipagkalat, hindi rin nila pwedeng ibigay sa other agencies, at hindi rin nila pwede na gamitin for personal use because nga they are binded by this act or by this law that they need to protect your personal information. Ganyan din po pag gumagawa ka ng Google account, di po ba? Binibigay mo yung personal information mo, your name, your age, even your birthday, your father's name, mother's name, and your address. So, kailangan ang Google, ingatan niya yung mga personal information ibinigay mo. It will only be between the two of you. Hindi niya pwedeng ibigay in other person or other site because they are binded by this law. Because this law protects our personal information. And then, ang gobyerno po natin ay gumawa ng isang agency, which is the National Privacy Commission. Siya po yung nag-i-implement ng mga guidelines regarding this act. And then also, this act, it regulates po through NPC, the collection, the recording, the organization, the storage, updating and modification, retrieval, consultation, use, even the blocking and erasure of personal data. So the NPC regulates kung paano kinokollect, paano nire-record, paano ini-store ng mga government agencies and even the private sectors yung ating mga personal data. And also, this act po, ini-ensure niya na pasok tayo sa international standards set for data protection. So it means, hindi lang po sa Pilipinas may Data Privacy Act. Even in other country or actually it's all over the world po, no? Kasi it's needed, lalo na po, we are in the 21st century. So I hope po clear tayo sa Data Privacy Act. And then, next question is, why it is important for us to know? No? So, we have to know this para maprotektahan yung mga bata, yung personal information ng mga students, ng mga teachers, and even the school. And gayon din po, baka may mga ginagawa tayo na hindi pala tama, na against pala sa act na ito. So sabi nga, the more we bind with the law, the more we become free. So kailangan, alam natin kung ano yung nakapaloob sa act na ito para hindi natin siya gawin. So, and also we have to remember that we are on the new normal way of conducting classes. In our case, ang modality po ng school namin is blended. So, require po sa blended ang pagkakaroon ng online classes. So, kailangan alam natin yung mga do's and don'ts para hindi na natin siya gawin at maiwasan din na ma-hack yung ating gadget or even our system. Okay po. So punta na tayo sa what are the do's and don'ts now that we know that there is an existing law and why it is important for us. So hinati ko po siya sa 4. So una muna po is the do's and don'ts for students. So mga students, makinig kayong mabuti. This is for you. So for us teachers po, no, kailangan i-educate natin at i-orient natin ang ating mga anak regarding these do's and don'ts. So first is creating strong password when signing up on e-learning platforms. Actually, in any platforms, whether e-learning man yan or social media, you have to create a strong password. Maaaring combination ng letters, ng numbers, or ng like period or asterisk para ma-assure mo that your password is very strong at hindi siya madaling mahulaan. Kasi po, di po ba, even in ATMs, gumagawa tayo ng passcode para hindi siya easily accessible na ibang tao, no? Kasi nandun lahat yung personal information mo. Kung madaling mahulaan ang iyong password, madali rin nilang mananakaw at makikita ang iyong personal information. And then pangalawa, staying alert during online classes. So there was this one segment of Jessica Soho kung saan pinakita during online class, may mga online hackers na nakapasok sa kanilang online class. So from that po, no, yung mga taong nakapasok na hindi naman dapat ay nagpakita ng malalaswang gawain, which hindi dapat, lalo na ang goal ng pagpasok mo doon is matuto. So kailangan maging alert ka. Since nakikita mo na that this is something suspicious, anong dapat mong gawin? So mag-leave na lang. Good thing po dun sa segment na yon na ipakita na ang mga batang ito is very alert. Nung nakita nila na ay parang hindi tama ang ipinapakita sa online class. So lahat sila, nag-leave sila sa klase. So ganun po ka-importante maging alert, no? And then using customized backgrounds to avoid accidental disclosure of personal information. So tayo mga teachers po, if yung mga estudyante natin, they would like to open their cam every time we have our online class, we should encourage them to use a customized background. This is the main reason po bakit ang Google Meet and even the MS Team and even the Zoom po ay meron siyang feature ng virtual background. Kasi po, may purpose yon, no? To protect the personal information or the personal living spaces of the student. So, para hindi siya ma-disclose at hindi siya makita. May mga situation po kasi na halimbawa, nagkaklase ang nag-online class. So, nakikinig ang bata. Tapos, sa likod pala niya, nag-aaway yung parents niya. So, mag-aaring maging reason ito para mahiya yung student. Hindi na siya mag-online class kasi parang napahiya siya. Or maging cause din ito ng cyberbullying. So, much better i-encourage natin sila na gumamit na lang ng virtual background para walang madi-disclose na any personal information. And then, next one is, we have to install and regularly update an antivirus program because this program, it also protects us from online hackers or any spams para maiwasan na ma-hack ang ating device or ang ating system. And then pang-lima, muting the microphone and turning off camera by default, especially when not speaking. So, tayo mga anak or mga students, remember to always mute your microphone and turn off your camera kung hindi naman kailangan or hindi ka naman magsasalita para din maiwasan na ma-disclose yung any personal information mo. No? Maari palang habang nagdi-discuss yung teacher mo, nakalimutan mo na naka-off yung camera mo, nakikita na yung kung anong ginagawa mo. Or baka may pinag-uusapan sa surroundings mo na very important or for personal purposes lang, narinig nila sa iyong klase. So much better kung naka-off na lang sila by default, no? And then also turning off camera and microphone when leaving the station for bathroom breaks. If you have the urge or the need to go to bathroom, always remember to turn off your camera and your microphone. Here are naman the don'ts, no? Ano yung mga hindi dapat ginagawa ng mga students natin? First is connecting your phone or your laptop to any free and public Wi-Fi networks. So, kung ikaw ay nasa isang public place and nakita mo mayroong public Wi-Fi networks, huwag ka basta-basta mag-connect, no? Baka kasi since it's easily accessible, maaari ding accessible sa mga online hackers, no? Pwedeng maging means ito para pasukan niya ang iyong system or yung gadget. Now, kung hindi naman maiiwasan na gumamit ng public Wi-Fi networks, make sure mo na piliin mo yung may mga passwords para hindi siya easily accessible. Like in our case in Angeles City, meron tayong public Wi-Fi. Di po ba sa Angeles City? So good thing, sa Angeles City, nakita ko siya, tinry ko na siyang minsan. Meron siya tinatawag na voucher. Meron siyang ibibigay si mayor sa'yo na parang voucher. Yun yung magiging password mo or key mo para makapasok dun sa Wi-Fi network na yon. So yon, mas safe yon kasi regulated kung sino yung makakapasok dun sa Wi-Fi na yon. Next, sending assignments, projects, and other requirements to teachers via social media. So hindi daw dapat kayong mga anak or mga students na mag-send ng assignment or project or any other requirements via social media. So ma'am, so sa anong paraan kami pwedeng mag-send or mag-pass ng assignment? So pwede naman through personal message. I'm sure meron naman kayong contact with your teacher. So much better if isend mo na lang ang iyong assignment or project through personal message para yung personal information mo hindi siya ma-disclose kung pinopost mo lang yung mga assignment mo sa social media. Remember, in social media, di ba, everyone has an access. So, pwede nilang makita yung assignment mo yun, makita nila yung personal information mo. And then, another don'ts is spamming the chat. So, hindi pwedeng yung mga students magsasend ng mga spams sa kanilang group chat or even sa in-con messages ng Google Meet, no? Kasi it's not good, of course, kasi pag pinindot yan ng mga classmates mo or even your teacher, no, maaring ma-spam or maaring mapasukan ang kanilang device ng virus kasi nga, sinendan mo ng spam yung inyong chat. It's a big no-no, no? Next, taking screenshots of video feed of the teachers and classmates. So, ang mga students, hindi dapat kayo nagte-take ng screenshots or even video ng inyong online class, no? Or even your conversation sa GC. Hindi dapat kayo nagsi-screenshot. Violation yan sa Data Privacy Act, no? And then giving out online links and their password to people who should not be in class. Okay, babalik ko po yung segment dun sa Jessica Song kung saan napag-alaman ng NBI, isang suspicions nila is may isang estudyante nagbigay ng link at ng password ng Google Meeting kaya may mga nakapasok na hindi naman dapat. So tayong mga students, never nating ibibigay yung online links and password dun sa mga hindi naman dapat, sa mga hindi nating classmates. Because online class are intended only for your class and your classmates. Alright. So ano naman po ang do's and don'ts for parents and guardians? So, ang mga parents, malaki ang factor para mas effective ang learning, no? Malaki ang tulong ng mga parents para magkaroon ng magandang learning ang mga bata. So, ito po yung mga do's or dapat ginagawa nating mga parents, no? First is, we have to help the child or lagi tayong nandyan dapat at chine-check natin yung privacy setting nung device ng anak natin, whether cellphones man yan or laptop. Lalo na po kung ang anak natin is minor. So, lagi natin chine-check yung privacy setting ng ating anak. As well as, turuan natin yung ating mga anak ng basic online security tulad ng paggawa ng strong password at pagturo sa kanila na ang password hindi share kaya nga siya password, it's only for you. And also yung two-way authentication. Pag sinabi po natin two-way authentication, yung dalawang paraan ng pag-authenticate ng iyong device. Pwede yung one way is yung paggawa ng password or passcode. Yung another way is pwedeng fingerprint o di kaya ay facial scanning. So yan po yung two-way authentication. Mas maganda po yan kasi mas safer, no? Or safer siya, no? At hindi siya madaling mapasukan yung iyong device or even your system, no? And then another thing is taking a moment to review school's policy regarding DPA or the Data Privacy Act. So, kung maglaan daw po tayo ng time na i-check yung kanilang handbook if meron bang policy regarding DPA or the Data Privacy Act po, no? Para alam natin, aware tayo. Ganito pala yung dapat at hindi dapat gawin ng anak ko. So, ganito pala pinoprotektahan ng eskwela ang personal information ng anak ko. So, lamang ang may alam. Then, next one is ensuring that your consent is obtained for the recording of classes. Consider being present during these sessions, especially if the student is minor. Okay po, dear parents po, i-make sure nyo po na ang consent nyo ay kinuha ng school or ng teacher. Especially po pag nag-online class na nire-record ng teacher. So, kailangan po tayong mga parents, meron tayong pipirmahan or isa-sign up na consent. Ano po yung consent na yon? Parang ito po yung pagbibigay ninyo ng permission na ang school may mga information siyang kailangan from your anak, no, from the students. Like in our case po, sa FG, gumawa po ako ng online consent kung saan ang mga parent ay pipirma or magsa-sign up doon sa Google form na yon. Naka-explain naman po doon kung ano-anong mga information ang kailangan ng school na kailangan ng consent ninyo. Huwag po kayong mag-alala that I believe all schools, ang information na kinukuha po nila ay kung ano lang yung intended at kailangan. At hindi naman po talaga yan ipinagkakalat or ginagamit for personal purposes. No? For professional purposes lang po yan. Okay, ano naman po yung mga don'ts ng parents? So, wag po daw nating iwan ang mga anak natin during online classes, especially kung minors po sila, no? Baka may mga nakapasok na palang hindi, or baka may mga content na pala na hindi dapat nalalaman ng bata. So, much better, bantayan po natin sila, or maaring hindi mo alam, akala mo nag-online class pala yung anak mo, yun pala iba yung ginagawa niya. So much better, binabantayan natin yung ating mga anak. Okay, ano naman yung mga do's and don'ts for teachers? Ito yung mga hindi dapat ginagawa at dapat ginagawa ng mga teachers. So first po is, kailangan lagi pong i-consider ng mga teachers yung tatlong bagay. First is privacy, second is equity, and then the last one is peculiarity. When we say privacy, teachers should always consider na kung hindi comfortable ang bata na i-share or even display yung kanyang living space, wag po natin silang pilitin, no? Let's respect their privacy. No, pag equity naman po, we should always remember that not all students have internet access, or meron silang magandang device, or meron silang afford nila yung mag-stream ng videos or mag-search ng mga ganitong pictures po, no? We should always consider that. And then peculiarity, we should always consider that some students may feel anxious pag naka-open yung camera nila. It may affect po kasi their personal or their performance in their class. So better if ayaw ng bata, huwag natin silang pilitin. Okay, so these are the do's for the teachers. So una, we have to make sure that webcam is an optional. Hindi po natin sila pwedeng pilitin na mag-on cam if they don't want to. No, hindi po kasi natin alam na ganito pala yung living condition nila at ayaw nilang i-share ito sa mga classmates nila. So, wag natin silang pilitin if they don't want to. Pangalawa, okay, this one naman po ay for those who needs to proctor pag nag-e-exam. Di po ba pag mag-online exam, nire-require ng other universities or schools na naka-on-cam kasi nga naman nag-e-exam. How would the teachers know or monitor kung yung student is nangongopya na pala or nagsusearch na sa internet, no? So, in our case naman, in public schools, wala tayong periodical exam. So, hindi siya applicable to us, no? Pero in here, sinasabi lang niya na we have to consider the principles of legitimate interest and proportionality during online proctoring, no? Kung saan gagamitin lang yung on-cam or open lang yung on-cam during examination and no more, no less na, no? Kung saan lang intended yung on-cam, na naka-on-cam yung bata, dun lang dapat. And then recording of online classes. Di po ba tayo mga teachers, isa sa mga MOV natin, ay kailangan meron tayong isang online class na na-record natin. Di po ba nung gumawa tayong LDM, no, dun sa portfolio natin. So, kailangan, no, kung magre-record ka ng class, you have to ask for the consent of the parent. No, pag na-ask mo na yung consent nila at pumayag naman yung parent na i-record yung inyong online class, doon lang kayo pwedeng mag-record ng online class. At gagamitin lamang ang recording ng online class for legitimate uses lang. Like for example, may mga bata na hindi nakapasok sa klase mo and you would like to record your class para yung mga hindi nakapasok, pwede nilang i-view ulit yung klase mo. Pwede po yun, no? Basta ask lang po ng consent. And then, ayun po, obtaining the explicit consent of the students or parent or legal guardian for minors before the conduct of online proctoring. Para naman po ito sa mga magpapa-exam, no? Siyempre, kailangan naka-on-cam. So, para safe ang mga teachers, they will ask for a consent from the parent na nagsasabi na we are asking for your consent na gagamitin ang webcam ng mga bata kasi nga mag-exam sila. So, the key there is to always ask for consent. Ano naman yung mga don'ts ng mga teachers? So, ang mga teachers po, hindi pwedeng mag-post ng any announcements sa social media na nag-involve ng personal data ng mga bata. For example, yung grades ng mga bata, hindi po pwedeng pinopost yan. Hindi rin po pwedeng pinopost yung result ng assignment nila. Hindi rin po pwedeng pinopost yung exam result nila o kaya yung hindi sila nakapagbayad sa ganito or sa ganyan. Hindi po pwede yun. Halimbawa, kulang siya sa tuition fee, yung bayad niya sa tuition fee, so ipopost mo siya. That's a very big no-no po, no? And also, storing personal data collected as part of the class in personal account or device. So, hindi po pwede, like, di po ba sa ating mga teachers, ang ginagawa natin is sinisave natin yung numbers ng mga parents natin para makontak natin sila in case na kailangan natin silang makausap. So, hindi daw po pwede na i-store mo yung personal data na yon longer than it is intended. Kung hindi na siya kailangan, tanggalin mo na yung number ng parent sa iyong device, no? Kasi bawal po yun sa Data Privacy Act, no? Kung kailan mo lang kailangan, doon lang dapat. Pag hindi na kailangan, erase mo na lang siya sa iyong device. Next, allowing students to submit projects and assignments via social media platforms. So, wag daw po nating i-allow ang mga students natin na mag-pass ng projects nila and assignments via social media. So, kailangan kung magpapass man yung bata, through personal message na lang po or pwede rin sa Gmail na lang, no, or email na lang para yung assignment niya or yung project na, it will only be between the two of you at wala nang iba. No po? Para din makaiwas yung mga ibang classmates niya ay nangongopya. No? Like, ang ginagawa po kasi like in my case po, noon hindi ko pa alam ang Data Privacy Act, nagpapapas po ako ng project sa GC ng mga bata per section, no? Kung halimbawa may hindi siya na-ipass na module, o sige, ipass mo na lang sa GC or yung performance task nila, o sige, ipass mo na lang sa GC. Hindi po pala dapat ganon. Kailangan personal message na lang po only between the two of you. na po. And then next is removing students from the class or forcing them to turn their cameras on. So hindi daw pwede na, halimbawa yan, nag-online class na kayo, nainis ka sa batang to, napakabastos niya. Hindi pwedeng tanggalin mo yung bata, no? Sa klase mo, no? I-remove mo siya from the online class. It's a violation of their law, of their it's a violation against the Data Privacy Act, no? Hindi mo rin sila pwedeng i-force na open ang kanilang camera if they don't want to. Okay, what are the do's and don'ts naman for the school, no? First and foremost, kailangan daw po ang school should create policies and guidelines, especially on the use of the cameras. So unang-una po daw dapat i-consider ng school is dapat nasa student handbook nila na ang mag-encourage ng use of virtual background para ma-avoid yung display ng private living spaces. Pangalawa, consider daw yung equality and fairness in every situations. Maaring yung bata, limited lang internet connection niya or sira yung kanyang phone. Hindi daw dapat maging rason ito para bumaba ang kanyang academic performance. We should always consider equality and fairness. And then number 2, student daw should always improve their existing student codes and conducts, no? Kailangan i-review daw po ang kanilang student handbook at ma-incorporate na yung mga codes of conduct na nagja-jive sa Data Privacy Act, no? And then schools should strictly enforce their social media policy. So kailangan meron din law ang school or ng rules and regulations ang schools, especially sa mga teachers na nagsasabi or nag-enforce ng mga do's and don'ts for the teachers. And then, pang-fourth po is, yun nga po, the online classes may be recorded for the purpose na i-review lang siya ng mga learners na hindi nakapasok dun sa class. Now, if kailangan yung online class na recorded for MO-based or mode of verification in any requirements po, pwede naman po as long as merong consent ang mga parents. Okay, pang-5, kailangan daw po i-enforce ng school na ang submission ng assignments, no, or any school requirements should only be through personal messages or Gmail or email, no? Parang two-way lang dapat, the teacher and the student, no? Hindi pwedeng publicly available yung mga assignments nila because in those assignments, no, pwedeng may ma-disclose na personal information. And then pang-anim po, educators and school personnel are reminded that communications involving personal data such as exam, grades, school fees, results of assignments, report cards, or reminders po should not be posted to any social media platforms. Kailangan po masisend lang siya directly dun sa mga concerned recipients, no? It should not be posted publicly. Okay? Then pang-7 po, kailangan daw po yung mga policies and guidelines and codes po ay pasok po sa General Data Privacy Principles, yung binigay po ng NPC ng mga guidelines. And then pang-8 po, kailangan yung mga policies, codes, and guidelines ay nagja-jive din po dun sa existing child protection policies. And also, nagja-jive din po siya sa anti-bullying policies na meron na po tayo. Kailangan na connected po yan at nagja-jive, hindi sila pwedeng nagka-clash po, no? And then here naman po is the don'ts ng school. So ang school daw po, hindi siya pwedeng mag-keep ng personal data longer than their intended purposes. So kung yung personal data ay kailangan nang i-dispose or ibalik na sa student, ibigay na. Hindi pwedeng i-store yan ng school longer than their intended purposes. Okay, now that we know that there's an existing law like this, ano po yung dapat gawin? Ano yung future plans? This one po is for our school. In our school, gumawa po ako bilang the data privacy officer, gumawa po ako ng online data privacy consent kung saan po no ang mga parents no pagka-enroll ng kanilang anak sa aming paaralan mag-accomplish po sila ng Google Form na nakasulat po dito kung ano yung mga kailangan ng school no na information na kinukuha na yung consent ng parent. Now, kung hindi po pumayag yung parent, wala po magagawa ang school, no? So, hindi po siya, hindi po ipo-push through. Now, pag pumayag po ang parent, pumirma po siya, nag-submit po siya ng doon sa Google Form ng online consent, no? Safer po ang mga teachers. Pwede po nilang kunin yung mga personal information na kailangan lang naman talaga sa pag-aaral or sa information for the school. Hindi naman yan gagamitin for personal purposes. And then in our case po, i-review po namin ang aming student handbook. I-make sure po namin na ma-include yung mga policies regarding data privacy at gagawa po kami ng infomercials para sa mga parents and ngayon din sa mga students para ma-orient sila regarding this Data Privacy Act of 2012. So magkakaroon din po kami ng webinars para ma-orient yung ating mga parents and students. In fact, this video po is also intended for the orientation of the parents, the students, and other teachers po na hindi kabilang sa aming school na hindi nakapag-attend ng aming inset regarding data privacy. So, that would be all po. If you have questions, you may message me or dito sa YouTube account ng aming Dear Principal. So that would be all po. Thank you very much for watching and listening. Good day po.